Welcome back to another edition of Old School versus New School. What's going on, Alex?
What's up, baby? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Am I being my usual loud, rambunctious self, or do I sound more calmer today?
Listen, before we even push live, I turned that mic all the way down. So you
You know
good?
how
You
I
good?
do.
What?
You know how I
Oh
get
yeah,
that.
that's that Brooklyn.
Yeah, all day, every day. How you been?
I honestly am very tired. Hope I don't look as
Mm,
tired as I am. But you know me,
mm.
I'm work all the time.
Yeah. So no big plans over the weekend. Just pretty much chilling, huh?
Um, I got big plans, but I can't talk about them.
Oh, you can't never talk about nothing. You everything with you is a big secret.
Big business over here, big business. But I am so excited because we actually do have something big planned for the
Oh,
extended weekend. Our special
uh-oh.
guest.
Yeah, that's
Our
it.
special guest.
Let's talk to her.
Yes, so welcome everybody that's coming in the building. As you come in the building, please tap that like button, okay? Show a little love because I think we show it. So let's bring our special guest on in here because she needs no introduction at this time because she an OG at this point. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
let's bring her on up.
It's the takeover, taking it over.
Hey, Looney,
Hi, you guys.
how are
What's
you?
up, Looney?
I am good. I'm good. How are you guys?
Well,
We're
I'm good
good.
now that you showed up.
I'm in the building. Let's get it.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. You ready, TheeEnicole?
Yes. So let me tell the people a little bit about our special guest. If you do not know,
Mm.
Looney is from Ready to Love. Okay. And I wanted to talk to her a long time ago, but we be booked and busy.
That's
So
why.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
she's here
Yeah.
today. So we just gonna chop it up and see what's on Looney mind because she's taking over today, y'all. So show y'all
Yeah.
support. Her link is in the description, so make sure you go follow her because she has lots of good things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Period. That part. I am happy to
Yeah.
be here. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah.
And I want the audience to keep in mind that Looney is from Florida, and we'll get into that later too.
Period. Although
What
that
part
might
of
change.
what part of Florida?
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. Okay, okay. Oh,
Okay.
That's what Blake is.
Is he now?
Yeah, Blake's in Fort Lauderdale. Last we talked to him, he was.
Mm,
Yeah, because you guys were flooded out for a quick minute.
we were. We were. It was crazy. I actually wasn't
Hey,
there
Patty.
when all that was happening, so I didn't get a chance to experience it, but I definitely heard it was rough. It was pretty bad.
Did you lose any property or anything like that?
I didn't know.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I wasn't even there. I was out of
Mm.
town. I'm a flight attendant now, so
Okay.
I was gone working when that actually happened, so I wasn't even in the area. But I heard a lot of bad things happen, especially on my Solis and Broward area. It was bad. So
Yeah. I'm sorry for all the people there that had to go through that and constantly go through that in Florida. These hurricanes, you guys are like the first target all the time.
I know it's weird. Maybe it's because of how we, where we are,
Mm.
compared to where those storms typically come in. I don't know.
Yep. Right. Absolutely. But Looney, most people know you from, of course, the Radio Love. Okay. And that's how you garnered your popularity or fame, if you want to call it, because you guys become from Radio Love like one big happy family in a lot of ways. You have Radio Love events, and once you're on that show, you're like connected forever.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, first of all, is Looney short for lunatic? Number one.
No, it is not.
He's
Okay.
one to ask. He's one to ask.
It is not. No, it's actually short for Lenitra.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just want to clear that up. Okay.
Not short for lunatic. I ain't crazy. I ain't. Unless you
not
make
crazy.
me crazy.
She not no killer, but don't push her. Okay.
Period.
See that neck going.
Yo,
once that
you know.
Once that starts, they're a little crazy.
He like them like that, so I don't know what he's talking about. But Looney, what was your experience like being on a reality show? Like, what was that whole? Was it what it was cracked up to be? Is it more than you expected? Like, what was it like?
I mean, to be honest, it was not what I expected. It was very, very different than what I expected. You know, you go on there, and that show in particular, you know, you're going on there to date. You know, you're going on there to meet your person, and you know, it's just a lot of foolery and trickery. You know, that happens within the show, not just on the production side, but also with the people that you're dealing with. For me personally, it was very hard to trust. Going into that particular process, because I'm like, are you here for TV? Or are you here for me? Like, what you really, so it was tough. It was definitely a very, very challenging experience, I will say. But I'm definitely happy that I did it. It was amazing, and I learned a lot about myself, and also, I learned that it's not a terrible thing to date multiple people at one time. I never ever did that before. I always, I meet someone, I focus on that person, and if it doesn't work, then I move on to the next and I focus on that one person. But that show kind of helps me maybe it's to date a couple at one time, to be able to weed out a lot more and get to the person you're supposed to be with a lot faster.
Right.
So is that one of the things that you picked up from the show moving forward as you got back into your real life? Because real life will continue. Yes. Okay. So is that how it affected your dating life now back in the real world, that you're just going to date multiple people and see what happens?
I think so. Yeah. Being able to kind of just, not necessarily put all your eggs in one basket at a time is kind of how I move now. Although it is still difficult for me because I'm an energy person and I'm very, very emotional, being a Gemini. So it is still very difficult for me to date multiple people. It can't just be, 5-10 guys like, on the show. It's got to be a little less than that, but it definitely is not an issue, to have a couple people that you're dating. But I think there's a difference. And, me and my homegirl was talking about this because I'm like, there's a difference between openly dating and intentional dating. And I think with intentional dating, it's kind of difficult to date multiple people at one time. And she was like, no, girl, date multiple people. But I'm like, but if you're being intentional, how can you date multiple people at one time? Like, I don't understand it.
Would you ever do reality TV again? Because like multiple people that I've interviewed from the show, they say, I wouldn't do that show again, but if it was all about me, I would.
I'd do it again. Yeah, why not? I feel like it, for those type of shows. And at first I was like, no, hell no. I was kind of like, but now I'm like, maybe so, just because it's easier to meet people that way. And some of the friendships I have from the show and the people that I've bonded with have been amazing. So it was a really great experience. So I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it again. And then also
heard it here first. We need a For the Love of Looney.
Right. And Looney, listen, Looney, I'm not sure what your DMs are like. They probably was bananas before Ready to Love. So I know they was bananas after. And then here's the thing, TheeEnicole. Looney has the audacity to put videos up of her working out and walk around in tight shorts. And I'm like, Looney, I'm trying not to say nothing,
Alex, you're disqualified from the qualifications of an IG video because I can't even lick my lips on IG.
Period. I mean, my thing is, everything is not attention seeking. Now, some is. I ain't gonna hold you.
Okay.
Everything is not attention seeking. I'm actually going through a weight loss journey. I gained about 25, 30 pounds since starting this new job, right? Just devastated. So I'm in the process now of trying to lose the weight. And so I use the social media as accountability for myself and also as progress to be able to go look at it and look and see, kind of my progress. I take videos after every workout. I don't post all of them. Like y'all ain't got to got a video in like a little minute, but I'm still working out in these streets. So, it's not all about attention, although it just is what it is. I feel like if it was a regular person with a maybe not as shapely of a body, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but because I got all this wagon I'm dragging.
That's the problem, Louie. That's the problem. Because if a skinny girl posts the same pictures and the same post that we post, they're going to be like, okay, girl, but as soon as I post a pic,
they like, oh, you thirst trapping.
Yeah, you doing too much. Like,
that part.
But
I'm not thirst trapping, you just thirsty. That's all.
Looney, you gotta admit, now you're not gonna sit here and get me to ever believe your DMs aren't blowing up. Ain't no way. Ain't no way I'm gonna believe that.
She ain't say that. She quickly deflected.
Thank you.
Let her deflect in peace.
I ain't say all that, but I will say, it's not as much as people would think. It's really not. Like, my algorithm is not popping like it was, where my videos are getting seen as much as they were before, and that's because I'm not as consistent with my posting. But it's not as crazy as people be talking about.
But you know what, Looney? It's not just about your figure. Obviously, you're a beautiful woman. It's not just about that. But some of your posts, and we discussed this behind the scenes, are very interesting posts. And one thing you had an issue with, and I happen to agree with you, you said on one post, which made me discuss it with you behind the scenes. You said, what's up with these men wanting women to pursue them and chase them? You said, I'm not doing that. That's not ever going to happen in life. No. So how do you, and the TheeEnicole, of course, can chime in, what do you think, how did this start with these men? I've noticed that too. So how did this start, and how do we stop it?
Listen, I ain't gonna hold you, and the ladies might not like me for this, but it's y'all asses, okay? It is y'all, because the men that I speak to, the stories that I hear about women approaching them and how thirsty the women are and just being, super aggressive and, trying to pursue a man, I don't understand it. But I think that men start to get used to that, and then their expectations start to apply. They start to apply that to every woman. And baby, that ain't it over here. That ain't it over here. So I think that it's really the women that are, perhaps maybe, because I feel like we are in a season and in a time where dating and relationships have changed. They have absolutely changed, and it's not the traditional man chase woman kind of situation. These women out here are chasing these men, and they're getting used to that, and they're liking that. Like, I see one guy, and I'm not gonna say his name, but he is a super popular guy on YouTube. He's in a bunch of videos and things of that nature, and he constantly talks about how these women are flying him out and cooking for him and giving him money and doing all of this and doing all of that. And I'm like, baby, you proud? Like, that's something to big up about yourself.
To him,
all these women are doing these things for you. What are you doing for the women? Like,
he ain't got to do nothing. He ain't got to do nothing, Looney. Do what?
That part. I think
you know what I mean.
A lot of women who are thirsty for relationships and are willing to do whatever it takes to get them a little piece of a man. What you think?
What would you think, TheeEnicole?
Listen, I am old school. Y'all already know over here on this channel that I'm a good old preacher's daughter, 2 preacher's granddaughter, both sides. It say, he that findeth a wife, not her that findeth a husband. That is not my job to pursue you. It's your job to let me know how you feel, and then I can decide from there.
Period.
Okay. So if that's both of your stance, and I agree with that, okay, then how do you guys let a guy know without pursuing him that you're really interested? What signals or clues do you guys give off?
There's nothing wrong with a little flirting. You can flirt. You can still be so in your femininity. Like, your aura, your energy will let somebody know you're attracted to them. Conversation. Can you even hold a conversation with me? See, that's where it stops a lot of times for me, because I might see something I'm physically attracted to, but once we get to conversing, you can't hold a conversation. I'm out.
Period. And I think too, to add to that, I think it's like, if I'm in the presence of someone that I think is attractive or whatever the case, like, I may look and I may smile, But I'm not going to approach you. I'm just not. I don't care if you Idris himself in the flesh. I'm just not going to. And I think that it's a level of insecurity and confidence that a man has to have. Like I was told one time by a guy that I had a crush on years later. He never tried to talk to me, never hollered or anything, but I did have a crush on him, kept it moving. But I ran into him years later and he told me he never ever spoke to me because he was highly intimidated by me and rejection. Right. And I'm like, I had a big old crush on you. Like you fumbled the bag big time. Like, so I think it's a matter of confidence. And if for me, if a man is not confident enough to shoot his shots, then I don't think that he would be confident enough to be secure in the relationship either, because with certain women, you're going to have men who are interested in them. If you can't handle that level of attention that she's getting, then perhaps maybe that ain't the one you need to get with. I don't know.
And let's just face it, women, this is going to be a little harsh, but y'all know how I feel, no excuses. A lot of times, men do what's convenient. So if you're in his face and you giving it to him, why wouldn't he go along for the ride?
Period.
So is he truly interested in you, or are you just recreation? And I'm not never about to be recreation.
Hallelujah.
Let me tell both of y'all, and I'm just going to be real about it. It's a numbers game, right? Women outnumber men. There are much more lonely women than lonely men. There are a lot of women, because you guys outnumber us, that are willing to share. Okay, that's why all this polyamory or polygamy, whatever you want to call it, is on the rise. Okay, because women are like, listen, if we got to do it this way, I got to conform to this thing because we just don't have the numbers. Okay, so if we could build a community where there's a man with 3 wives, we all raise the children together and living on a beautiful piece of property and blah blah blah, that can work. You see that happening a lot. So, what are your thoughts about that?
I mean, it depends on what you're comfortable with. I think for me, if that's what we agree upon, then that's what we agree upon. And I wouldn't be, because I just think that when you're with someone, when you look at the healthy marriages, at some point they either separate and deal with other people, or there's some type of open situation happening at some point. I'm not saying from the beginning, to the end, but people who have been married 30 plus years, they have gone through different seasons in their marriage. So. Right. So perhaps that's something people need to look at and normalize, and I'm not pushing polygamy and all of that, but I'm just saying it's not as horrible as people kind of make it seem in a sense.
And I'm gonna
the main 2 things that destroy marriage. What happened? Okay.
I want to piggyback off that
because
polygamy can absolutely work, because I always say monogamy is our culture over here. Mm-hmm. Polygamy has gone back since the beginning of time, but they make it so taboo. Mm-hmm. Like, because while all these number games you speak of is going on,
yep,
I don't have a problem in that department. Mm-hmm. So when you're moving right and you're trusting in the Most High to guide you, you don't have to worry about the numbers, because what's for you is going to come to you. Whether it be a man, a job, money, opportunities, whatever. I think that people's priorities are messed up.
Mm-hmm. But it's the ego thing, right? Like
yes.
Men tend not to realize women have egos too. And it's difficult for women to see their man, walk out of their room to go into another woman's room, to sleep with her that night and spend time with her that night, so that takes a lot of getting used to. So
but that's when it started in dishonesty, because if everybody comes into the situation knowing what's going on, if you didn't have a problem, that's kind of like a personal thing, because you agreed to this.
Yeah.
Like, you knew what it was when you became a part of it in my DMX voice.
That part.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
That part. And there's levels to it. If you happen to feel a way about seeing somebody come out your room, then baby, I need my own house. You need to have her in her own house, and that person need to, whatever, because when you come to see me, baby, it need to just be me. So it's levels. What y'all agree upon is what y'all, to work that out.
Because it appears that monogamy has been a failed experiment. Because like I was getting ready to say, most marriages fail due to infidelity or money, or a combination of the two. And over 50% of first marriages fail. If you start to have a second and third marriages, those numbers go up because people get set in their ways. As soon as they see stuff, you get up in age like me, you start to get, above 40, 45, 50. You kind of don't have a lot of patience and tolerance because you've seen stuff so many times. So as soon as a person do something, oh, look, why your drawers over there? I can't do this no more. I'm out. So it's like, peace, have no patience for anything. And you have to really work on your patience, not being set in your ways, giving everybody a clean slate when you meet them. And that's hard for a lot of people who have been damaged. So
well, that's true. But to just kind of piggyback off of that, kind of taking it a different route, there's that whole give people a clean slate can get a little tricky, right? Because at this big age, you have life experiences, you have past experiences that kind of make you who you are today, right? Now, I'm not saying you bring the past into the present, but to me, when it comes to like trust, if you're talking about trust, because to me, clean slate is trust, right? And off the bat, I don't see myself just automatically trusting someone that I've just met. I feel like trust has to be earned. It's not just automatically given, because I feel like if it's automatically given, those are the situations where you tend to ignore red flags. You tend to allow, certain things to kind of bypass. I feel like you give them a clean slate as far as not feeling like they're going to do you like everybody else did you and you bring your past into this present, but you still got to prove to me that you are trustworthy, like, I'm not just giving you a clean slate and I'm just going to trust you out the gate. I don't think that works very well.
Yeah. Trust has to be.
You forgive and you forget.
Yeah.
You forgive, but you don't forget. Like,
No.
move on. You have an open mind, open heart, but you're aware of possibilities without judging this person.
Exactly. Ooh, that's a good one. That's how I should have said it like that. Yes, girl.
Yeah, trust. Trust has to be earned, not given, and it's only earned through the passage of time. You cannot truly trust somebody after 2 weeks.
Hallelujah.
And I hear stories of people who meet online, move in 2 weeks, women that bring strange men in the house with their children to live after knowing them 2 weeks.
Yeah,
crazy.
Then they're on
and
Facebook.
They be shocked when something happens.
Shocked when something happens.
That's that clean slate stuff.
Right.
You give them a clean slate, like you don't know life and you haven't experienced life. Like, I feel like clean slate is for kids. For grown-ups who have had experiences.
Etch a sketch.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Like, no, baby, I'm not saying you a terrible man, but you have to prove that you are trustworthy and I'm safe with giving you my trust. Like,
you can't have no clean slate unless I know you can keep your drawers clean first.
Why you? What that got to do with anything, TheeEnicole?
Because because this is not like an off the wall subject. Like, it's too many women that move too fast within these relationships. When you a mother, you don't know if this man violates kids. You don't know if he's attracted to kids. You don't know if he wash his hands after he take a shit. Like, you don't know nothing about him other than that he looks good to you. And baby, that wear off real quick.
Real quick.
So, no, I'm not giving no excuses, no passes, none of that. Because it's about these babies.
Yeah. And so to me, that's more about the person who allowed somebody to come in their home after knowing them for 2 weeks or a week.
Absolutely.
That's desperation. It's like, what are you looking for? That you're so desperate.
Yeah. But that's where the pick-me women come into play. Because, and those pick-me women, I think, are the women who are aggressive in pursuing men as well. Those are the pick-me girls who are approaching men in bars and getting numbers and, asking them. You're like, nah. Those are those women who just kind of automatically trust, clean slate, this and that, because they just want somebody to call their own.
Mm-hmm. And this is where the hobosexual is never going to leave. Because there's always going to be space for the hobosexual because of women like this. And this is a phenomenon that's been growing rapidly over the last several years. Okay. Yeah. These guys get in relationships to keep from being homeless, to have a place to stay, and swoon this woman while they plan their next exit. This is over and over again. It's like, I don't get it, Looney. I don't get it, TheeEnicole.
I don't know what to do. Up. For these women who like to approach men, we're not judging you. You live your life, boo-boo. But that's just something that I choose not to do.
That's the disclaimer.
Period.
Okay.
Hey, if you like it, baby, do you? But
yeah. Let's change gears a second, because TheeEnicole and I has talked about this. The other phenomenon, Looney, and obviously I want to get your thoughts on a lot of these things we're going to talk about. Okay. These men today, too, another problem is they are so emotional, over emotional. They can't deal with a breakup. They can't deal with a disappointment. They can't deal with being told they can't see their kids. They can't. If they hear that,
they couldn't deal with that one.
They're going to destroy everybody, and they're going to record it live.
Yes.
So where do these emotional men, where are they coming from? And are these pampered, overly mothered men?
I want to say something before I forget.
Go ahead.
I feel that a lot of times before we get to that point, when you are initially attracted to somebody, it's a lot of red flags that you overlook. So this man could be broken. He could be a mama's boy. He could never have been loved. So sometimes people like that, they latch on to the person who's giving them something they never felt before. And that could be the biggest red flag.
I agree. And I think that too, it's weird because you don't really have a happy medium for the most part. You have either superly overly emotional men, or you have men who lack emotion altogether. And the overly emotional men, I feel like they could be potentially dangerous because like it gets really real for them. But I don't know if that's necessarily like just being overly mothered. I don't know. I feel like it has a lot of, underlying feminine traits and perhaps maybe some bisexual tendencies that you don't, want to be honest about, or even just gay tendencies that you just don't really want to be honest about and live in your truth. Or maybe you're so damaged that you can't live in your truth. And so, you just react in that overly emotional way because you're unable to live in your truth, and you take it out on, the different women that you're with because you can't live in your truth. I think that's one aspect, not all of it, but that could be potentially one aspect of it for the overly emotional men.
Yeah.
For those other men who lack emotion altogether, like they need a hug, they need a hug or something, because I just think it's weird. It's either one or the other. And then some men who think that they have emotional intelligence and they don't. Emotional intelligence is not just understanding what an emotion is or being able to control yours. It's also understanding and having compassion for emotions altogether. So if there's someone in front of you who is showing emotion, you having empathy and compassion for that, to me, is what real emotional intelligence means. So,
yeah, it's up. So, do it make you guys afraid to date? Are you very concerned about dating and coming across people? Because everybody's nice in the beginning. Everybody got their representative hat on, right? We all know that, okay? You look good on the outside, you're smelling good, blah, blah, blah. And a nut job of psychopaths can hide who they are for years, months, okay? So, honest, and then women, you guys are just not safe in this society. There's the trafficking going on. There's all the other attacks going on. And so, do it make you guys afraid and almost like hopeless that you're going to find somebody worth it or meaningful?
No.
Go ahead, E.
People know who to play with and who not to play with. So I'm going to suggest them find something safe to play with.
Hallelujah. I couldn't agree more. You know, definitely know who to play with, who not to play with. But I do think it makes, not to say that you're hopeless, but I do think that dating, you know, especially after a certain age, and in 2023 is very different. And it does, you know, it's not like you feel hopeless, but it's just kind of like, what? It's a lot of gunk in the water. Like,
pee in the pool.
Yeah, honey, just a lot. And it's like to want something real with someone, because I feel like everybody is just casually dating. Like everybody wants to go have multiple people and go from this one to that one and this one. Nobody wants a real committed relationship anymore. People just don't want that. And it's unfortunate because, you know, there are some people who still do, myself included. So it's like,
yes.
Right?
It turns your stomach and it gets you to the point where I'm not saying I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to get married. But right now I'm going to focus on the things that feed me. Let's be friends. Let's kick it. We can see where it goes. But for us to meet and you instantly like, so are you ready to get married? Like, can we just kick it? Can we just get a sandwich? Can we just like, why is it such a fast track to everything? And I really feel that the conversations that I've been having recently, I feel like people haven't lived lives. Because I've lived life. So that's not something that I'm rushing to. Like right now, I want to be a great mom, a great businesswoman, a great friend, a great daughter, a great sister, a great auntie. Like, I'm just going to say it nice and plain because you're talking about the numbers game, but in all actuality, niggas grow on trees. Okay? So
not sane ones.
Yes, same ones.
Not sane ones.
On the same tree, they're there.
And you do have your insane Bro, I need you to plant them in my yard because I don't know where they at.
I'll be there in a couple weeks. I'll be there in a couple weeks. I'll let the people know. Get it together.
Baby, look, it's a lot of men wanting to play games out here, and I get it, like not wanting to move too fast initially, you know, with someone, but after you've kind of gotten to know someone, you know, maybe you've been talking for a few months, like I feel like at the very least the conversations should not continue to be so superficial. You know what I mean? Like at least progress in the conversation to a deeper level of getting to know one another and what each other wants, and if this is actually a good fit or working, you know, towards something more. You know, maybe we're not getting married tomorrow, but we need to at least know what that looks like, or if that's even something that, you know, is on either of our minds.
I want to ask y'all a question. Have y'all ever been in a situation where somebody has pursued you for so long? You may not have been ready or may not have been interested at the time, but they just kept pursuing and kept pursuing and kept pursuing. And you finally was like, you know what? Let me just give them a chance. And it was some utter bullshit. So it's like people think they know what they want. And it's like, do you really want this? Because you're not even prepared to handle this.
What, TheeEnicole, what do I always say what do I plead every time things like this come?
Ain't no pleading the fifth today. Especially not no commandments. We're not pleading no commandments today.
Because I've been down that road, man, and it just the psychopaths go both ways, right? I mean, we focus on men more because women tend to be more victimized and so forth, but the psychopaths go both ways, man. I mean, people are just damaged, and if they don't see that they're damaged, what was that?
I think women are a little more psycho than men.
Hey, you listen, you might be right, but men get more press, men get more news. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so it's like if a person don't realize they have the issue or they have issues and don't look at themselves, how can they ever get help? They don't acknowledge that they have an issue. Everybody around them can see it, and they don't want to see it. So how do you even get involved and help a person like that? Because that's narcissistic tendencies. And I say this, Looney, here's a narcissist for you, right? A narcissist will dog you, treat you like dirt for months. right? And you'll put up with it. And finally you'll go, I'm tired of this. I had enough, blah, 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 blah. And they'll turn it around and make you feel guilty for catching them for doing you dirty.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you're apologizing and going, I'm sorry I caught you doing me dirty and shitting all over me. I won't do it again. And they just, you better not, you know, because they're so cunning and cagey like that. Because there's no accountability for people like that. To me, that's dangerous.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. I think that's the issue with dealing with narcissists, because you don't see it in the beginning. They're you know, they have a way of manipulating the situation to, you know, make you feel like you're the problem, you know, because they don't have any accountability. Even when you bring it to their attention, like, hey, listen, you made me feel like this, or, you know, how do you feel about this? And there's just, you know, just nothing. They have absolutely nothing to say about it because they don't have any accountability. And then when you begin to pull away, it's like, well, what's your issue? What's your problem? You know, now you become the problem. And
Right.
you know, there are a lot of women who can't see past that or through that and realize that they're being manipulated. And so, like you said, they stay, or they end up apologizing and then trying to rectify the situation on their end. No, baby. No, I think that's maybe that's just youth and inexperience, because once you know, get to a big age, you start to recognize that you know, as some BS. And once you immediately see it, you're able to, that ain't right there. Nah, baby, I brought this to your attention. You don't acknowledge it at all. There's absolutely zero acknowledgement. That's the first red flag. Like, you bring something to somebody's attention and there's no acknowledging of your feelings, or not even necessarily validating, because sometimes you could be feeling wrong, but not even an acknowledgement. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's the first thing they need to pay attention to get ready to walk on out.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you've been brainwashed, it's going to take a long time for you to walk out, because the longer you stay in a situation like that, the more entrenched you become mentally to that. And you get trapped mentally, and you won't even know why you're staying.
Facts.
You know, it's like, I know I got to go, but I just love him. Really?
Yep. And that also has to do with, you know, just self-worth. And, you know, because there's so much gunk in the water, and because, you know, you want to just have somebody, you know, once you do all this work to finally get somebody, you know, you want to try to fix it. You want to try to, okay, well, that's something I could probably deal with. It's not that big of a deal. You keep telling yourself that it's not that big of a deal, but it gets progressively worse. As long as you continue to stay in that situation, it does get progressively worse over time.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think that another problem is that people don't even know what their own deal breakers are. Like, I've asked a couple people, because, you know, I do life aligning. I call mine life aligning, not life coaching, but I do life aligning work for people. And I ask them sometimes, like, well, you're telling me this, this, and this. What are your deal breakers? Because you don't want to be here no more, but what are your deal breakers? Like, what is a deal breaker? How do you not know what a deal breaker is within a relationship? And this is somebody that's treating you a certain way, talking to you a certain way, handling you a certain way. And if you know you don't like something, like, you got to know what your limits are. And I agree with both of you that a lot of people are so desperate to be in relationships. A lot of people have been so deprived of genuine love. When they feel an ounce of that, whether it's coming correctly or incorrectly, they stay within that and then make themselves cope with the negativity part of it. Like, that's not healthy.
That part.
Yeah, it gets exhausting, you know. And like, knowing what your deal breakers are, you know, if I come home unexpectedly and you got a penis in your mouth, that's a pretty good sign that this is going to be a deal breaker.
Where is my discipline?
Pretty good sign. Okay, so
disclaimer.
It's true.
It's true.
But you know what's crazy? Is some people not gonna leave.
No, yeah.
There's women that will be like, well, what do I have to do that will make you stop wanting to sleep with her?
That part.
What am I not doing? or the man same way. Like, what? Excuse me?
That part. It's
You
so
lucky I ain't put on my Lorena Bobbitt hat.
That part.
And men are not as strong in dealing with that as women are. A man walking on that, somebody dying that night. You know what I mean?
Live.
It on live. It's just as simple as that. You know what I mean? So, and TheeEnicole, you brought up a sandwich earlier. Like you said, dude, can we just have a sandwich or something? Right? So here's the question. Here's how you can tie that in. Does it have cheese on it?
But see, listen, you trying to be funny, but at the point where you're in that situation, you should have slow walked it. So you know what your man want on his sandwich. You know if you want the crust cut off. You know if he want the cheese slightly melted. You know if he want lettuce on the side so he can put it on himself. When you slow walk things and you do everything in decency and in order. Now, I'm not saying that things can't go wrong or that life won't happen. But when you get to know somebody, it's the little things that are of value. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like when I brought that up, it's like these people will rush into a situation, make the man a sandwich and kill him because they didn't even know he was allergic to damn lettuce.
But that has everything to do with talking, and actually really getting to know each other on a deeper level. And I feel like that sometimes that happens and a lot of times that doesn't happen. Like it's just very superficial conversations, in the beginning when, again, if you're being intentional, you're intentionally dating and you're intentionally looking for someone, we need to be having these conversations. Like the conversations need to get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. I'm not saying day one, how you feel about marriage, but it's the conversations need to get to that level so that I can actually know who it is that I'm dealing with. And then I can make a decision as to if I want to continue to deal with this person or if we're aligned and compatible.
Yeah.
People don't even worry about compatibility. It's all about physicalities.
Mm-hmm. I want to bring up another issue. I've been guilty of it in my life. Y'all know I'm authentic over here. I don't care. I've grown from this point. But a lot of women in the girlfriend stage give that boyfriend too much. You're doing wife duties to a boyfriend, and you wonder why, one, he don't never ask you to marry you, or he cheats, or he doesn't value you. If you are a girlfriend, you are just that. You're being rented for the time being. He can trade you in at any point in time. And that's vice versa for a man too. Like, you're not supposed to treat a boyfriend as a husband. You're just not.
Yeah.
For me,
it's the audition.
It is. I do think it's the audition, but I don't know. I feel like I disagree just a tad. Now, not in the sense of, well, for me, I feel like I love how I love, right? And and how I love is me being giving. I'm a very, very giving person. Now, in me giving and me learning who I'm with and who I'm dealing with, I'm going to try to make that person happy. I'm going to try to please them as a girlfriend. I feel like the only difference anyway with the whole marriage aspect is, okay, we have a piece of paper that now states that we are legally, bound to each other. But I do feel like it's important for you to treat your man, the same kind of way. I don't think there should be a change in how you treat him based on, marriage or not. But I think the issue is not necessarily women treating men how they would or waiting to treat your man, how, a wife would treat a man. It's about the way we pick them. We're picking men that aren't appreciative. We're picking men who don't value the things that we are giving, and we're staying in those situations,
Now, I agree with that part, but I don't mean treating. I mean what you're relinquishing. Because if you're giving 100% of yourself and that man dies and you go to the hospital, you don't have no say-so of nothing.
Very true.
I'm not saying treat them bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying like definitely be intentional if you want to go long term. But I'm saying like in the struggle of, he's not treating you right anymore. We're sticking it out with these boyfriends, And these women are becoming damaged, and vice versa. These men are becoming damaged because, let's face it, men want love too. So they might stick things out with a girlfriend or a baby mama, and they're being damaged when in all actuality it's not working.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's true. And what happens when, like you said, the damage comes, and then you feel like, or like for men or women, vice versa, it really doesn't matter. You're being allowed to do these trifling things, and then you get with the next person and they're not playing that, and now you look stupid because you expecting everybody to just kind of do the same things that or deal with the same things that you're used to, or you're used to people just kind of letting you get away with this, that, or the other. No, baby, us women and men, if there's something that's going on that you don't like, communicate. And if your feelings aren't being acknowledged, and if that wrong isn't being right, or at least attempting, you may not be perfect, you may not be able to get it right initially, but if there's no care to consider your feelings in a relationship, and I think that's the biggest problem. Like, people aren't considerate of each other. It's always very selfish vibes going into a relationship. Oh, it's what I want, or if I like this how I need to be, or if I want this what I want. Like, no, we need to be compromising and communicating. Relationships is all about giving and taking, not just taking from somebody because you want this or you want that.
Yeah. And I think Alex will agree with this. We all see. But this is where I get harder on the women, because men do what you allow them to do. So if a man comes across 9 women who he can treat like shit, use them, abuse them, talk to them any type of way, come home at any time of the night, when he gets to woman 10, he's going to think that this is normal.
Hallelujah.
When you get to woman 10 and she's not going for that, then it's, you stuck up, you crazy, you do that. But he's dealt with 9 women who have accepted this. It's like women, because I can't speak to the man because I'm not a man. We'll let Alex piggyback.
He's been conditioned. The man's been conditioned.
Yeah. But we got to step our shit up. Women, if we expect certain things, we have to deserve certain things. Period.
Yes. Hallelujah. Yes.
But you know what? And let me ask you, ladies, because you women, how you feel about this? Because women's expectations don't seem to change as they should as they get older from the time that they're young. Okay, you have to have realistic expectations for where you are in life. Okay, when I was on dating apps and stuff like that, the women got these high. He must have all his teeth. He must be 6 feet tall. He must have 6 figures. He must not have any children. They just got a list of stuff.
Okay, you're gonna have to have all your teeth down.
I was gonna say the same thing, babe. I need all them teeth though. I do need
even the side one in the back that you only see if you laugh with your mouth open.
But the expectations, man, it's like, come on, who you gonna meet like that has all of this stuff you guys want, and then you don't have none of what you're asking for? Now, that's when the divide comes. That's a big problem.
You want a man to take you to Ruth Chris, but you can't afford a value meal at McDonald's. I don't like that.
I agree 100%. I think I saw some clip with some girl, and it went viral, where she was like, he gonna have to work 2 and 3 jobs to take me to where I want to go and to do for me, and I ain't about to work. So if you got to do what you got to do to get me the things that I want, that's what you need to do. Are you crazy? Like, that's why.
Do you know how many men are behind bars because of that?
Listen,
because the woman says, I don't care how you get it, go get it.
That is why the water is so murky. It's both sides. Like, you got these crazy behind women who feel like men are ATMs, and that's all their worth or their value is a financial come up. And then you got these men who literally don't really value anything because they don't feel like they're actually valued by a woman unless their pockets are where their pockets need to be. So it's crazy on both sides. And I mean, I do agree with having certain expectations, not necessarily expectations, but knowing what you're looking for and what you want. I do think that's important. But I think that focusing on just one aspect, like finances in a man, and that's all he brings, that's all the value that he can offer you, I think that that's where it starts getting murky.
I'm gonna take
Yeah,
my sister's lingo and I'm gonna say, I want to see you and I want to raise you one. Because what's even more crazy about this situation is that both of these muddy water people, men and women, they always go and grab the good-hearted, genuine people. Like, why don't you muddy people play in the mud together?
Hallelujah.
Leave us people who really want real love. We know how to tell the truth. We can make some money. Our
Yay.
sex is good. You know, like, let us stay with the pure water people.
Hallelujah. Oh, that's facts.
But see, Looney, we was on, TheeEnicole and I did a Trick Daddy versus Lisa Ray show a couple of weeks ago, right? Because they got into a debate where Trick Daddy said to her, if a man is paying the majority of the bills, and she stopped and said, you lost me right there. What you mean majority? He need to be paying all of them. So Trick Daddy said, well, what he getting you? And she said, he getting ass. And Trick Daddy said, you getting dick. So they started going back and forth. And I'm like, as much as I love Lisa Ray, I told TheeEnicole, she bumped her fucking head. What are your thoughts about women who lead with ass? That's the only value they have.
Yeah, that is craziness to me. But unfortunately, that is a lot of opinion. That's how a lot of women feel nowadays. Like, if I'm giving, like, now I ain't going, don't hold you now. Vagina is a very powerful thing, you know. But at the same time, I think these women have it twisted as far as what your value is to a man. And granted, yes, it is that, but it's so many other things too. Why don't we just put all of the focus on just ass? Like, that's all you can bring to the table. I feel like if you're with a man and you holding that man down and you love that man, if that man can't pay a bill, you would want to do it. You know, you would want to step up and help him in any way you can to be the best version of him possible for himself and then for you. So it's like women aren't on that now. It's just kind of like, nah, you got to do for me. Like I said, it's a selfish thing. It's a selfish thing on both sides. Like, the women just want to be jeweled out and decked out and take me here and take me there. I want to be flued out, you know. That's
flued out. Yeah.
You know, it's just very selfish thinking these days.
Yeah. Look that up in the dictionary. Flued.
I guess I'm the fairy of truth today.
Come on, girl.
Because, you know, what I agree with what you said, Looney. But it's like, how do I want to say this nicely?
Girl, say it, girl.
Ain't no way to say it nicely. Just say it. Be like me. Don't say it nice.
I want to say it nice because I want us women to receive it so that we can be better. But it's like, you really have to deserve these things that you want, right? Because let's just be serious and honest. Pussy is supposed to be the cherry on top. Like, y'all know that I'm actively going through a stalking situation. And everybody always asking me, what did you do to him? Why does it have to be something I did? Because it's not just the sex, because we know that Halle Berry got cheated on. Beyonce got cheated on. So it's not just the sex that keeps you. It's who I am as a whole package of a woman.
Hallelujah.
You have to have loyalty. You have to be honest. You got to be a ride. I'm a rider and liver. I'm not a ride or dyer.
Hallelujah.
But it's a whole package of you as a woman, because they can go get sex anywhere. They shouldn't be able to get your personality. They shouldn't be able to get your heart. They shouldn't be able to get your genuineness. You know what I'm saying? So that box is not going to keep them there.
Wow. Exactly. And it's a lot cheaper on the streets. You know,
$40.
If it's that simple, and that's all it is, they can get that anywhere. And trust me, us women are giving it away. Okay, we are absolutely giving it away. So, you know, that whole concept of, oh yeah, you know, my kitty cat gonna do this and that, baby, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. Period.
What are you guys' thoughts about a woman? Because a lot of women around here like this. In my life, I've experienced this. Women who just get to a point in their life where they'll have you come by, watch some TV, knock them off, eat with them, and send you on your way. And that's the relationship that you basically have. Okay, they have their needs, whatever. You knock them off, they knock you off. That's basically what it is. And do you think because they've been hurt so many times, or because they're just not looking for anything serious at that particular time in their life? Why do you think that happens? Because we expect men to do it, right? Men to do anything. Men will stick anything, okay? But we're not accustomed to women who call dudes over at 2 o'clock in the morning, give me what you got to give me and get out. But we know that happens, okay? So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
You got to eat. You want me to go ahead.
I was going to say, can anyone in the chat tell us? Because I can't live that life.
Listen, I can tell you, it's very simple. They tired. They don't want no daggone relationship. They want a little nookie when they want a little nookie, and that's it, because they don't want to deal with the drama that comes with you or your relationship, and they are able to emotionally detach. Now, I'm not one of those women because I am emotional as hell, but I actually personally know a few women who are able to emotionally detach themselves from a relationship and have simply a sexual relationship with somebody, handle their business and go on about their day. Like, it's nothing. So, and it also depends on where they are in life. Maybe they're just not looking for a relationship. Just like there are plenty of men who may not be looking for a relationship, just want some casual, situations. And then they find other people who also just want casual situations, and y'all do y'all thing and go about y'all way. So I think it's no different with women. I think that there's a double standard when you look at women who do that versus men, because it's expected with men, unexpected with women. So it's kind of like, well, how is she able to do that? No, there are some women who are able to emotionally detach themselves, just like a man has. There are several men who have told me, oh, it's just sex. Like, it's just sex. I don't like her for real. Like, I don't, they're able to easily emotionally detach themselves from a sexual relationship with a woman. And there are some women who can do the same.
Yeah, and I just can't answer that question because if I'm not emotionally attached to you, I don't want you touching me.
I can't do it. I physically cannot do it. You will not enjoy it. It will be the driest, desertous situation you have ever seen.
Don't touch my shoulder. Don't touch me.
I am like, that is when I tell you that it's such a turn off for me. If I am not emotionally invested in you, you are just trying to be on some sexual situations with me, baby, I am gone so fast.
You gonna stay dry, Looney? Really?
Oh, it's gonna be a Sahara desert. Okay, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Okay, there has to be some type of emotional connection with me, just because I am highly, highly emotional, highly. So,
and that goes into those deal breakers and those inviting people in too soon, because if I don't have an emotional attachment to you and I'm not attracted to you, you're never going to see the inside of my house, for one. Like, if people set themselves up for failure and then wonder why the failure happened.
Get a hotel.
No, like, I'm not fucking around. You're not wasting my time. I'm not
Get
wasting my time.
Get an OnlyFans.
Get a toy. If you need to get off that bad, because believe me, I am a firm believer that everybody need to come once or twice a day.
Hallelujah.
I'm a firm believer in that. But if you don't have a partner, you need to be safe. Go get you a toy or something. Get an imagination. Get something. But quit playing with people's hearts and emotions, because that's how you die.
Period.
Okay. Looney, me and TheeEnicole had this discussion maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, right? I told her there are women that can have multiples, sometimes as many as 8, 9, or 10 during a session. Okay? Now, men get 1. That's just the way it is per session. Okay? So if you're getting 10, okay, who owes who? Who's more valuable in the bed? I just gave you 10.
Okay.
And I got 1.
Let's be realistic. Let's just be realistic. And I may offend some people here. I don't care, because the truth is the truth. Most women aren't getting 1. That's just the reality. Most women aren't even getting 1. There are a lot of men, if we were actually honest in the bedroom with these men, their feelings would be severely hurt. Severely hurt, because We don't keep it real. We don't. Women do not keep it. Me and my homegirls just talking about this. We do not keep it real with men when it comes to sexual pleasure that we get in the bedroom. Half of these men don't know what they're doing in the bedroom. They swear they are the sex god, and you are not even the sex devil. It's just not hitting. So yeah, there may be situations where women are getting 10, but those are, to me, exceptions to the rule. Okay. Because the reality is that ain't the case. You got to get up and leave, and then I got to get me mine, because I didn't.
But see, that brings up what I said earlier, because these people are just having sex to have sex.
Yes.
So while it may feel good, you don't have that connection, because when you are genuinely connected to somebody and you guys have experienced intimacy, which is not sex, when you are in the act of that, if you're into somebody, they can blow air in your face and you come. So these people are not connected to each other. That's why they not, and that's why I'm not finna waste my time with letting you touch my body, because what are we doing this for?
Right. That's very true too. There's a lot of connections happening that have no type of emotional, aspect to it, which is also why women aren't getting theirs. But
and then you made a soul tie with this crazy ass person.
Right.
Yeah.
And you ain't even get yours, girl.
He didn't even take your soul, but he took your soul.
Okay, you ain't even get yours. Oh, it's some murk in the water, y'all. It's some murk in the water.
Well, those of you guys, that can have multiples, okay, can survive. If men had that, it'd kill us.
But Alex, that's not our fault. That's not our fault.
Many men have died off of one on top of a mistress.
That is not our fault. If you are a woman who is blessed to have multiple orgasms and come over and over, that's not our fault. That's how our body is set up. Because you can't control that.
Right.
You can stop it, but when it's coming, it's coming. That's not our fault. You can't hold us accountable for that.
Okay, but the point remains. Okay, you can have a toy, but to actually hold somebody, get the warmth, the kissing, the gazing into the eyes, and you having this experience of orgasm, isn't that more valuable than a toy?
I ain't talking about no toy, so I don't know. But
I would say
toy, TheeEnicole.
For the people that's playing with people's emotions, they should go get a damn toy.
It's definitely more valuable than a toy, but like she said, if I gotta deal with all this other stuff just because if I'm able to come, I just personally, if you're able to come 8, 9, 10 times, it don't really matter who it is. Like you got some sensitive cooch, okay?
That's why I don't play around.
Anybody can touch that thing and you got it going. So
right.
I don't really think that's necessarily has anything to do with the person per se, but
because I
think it's better than a toy.
They think hard. You know, Looney,
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard for y'all to fake. Women always say, I had to fake it. But it's hard for y'all to fake.
Hey, Dolce. I'm not faking nothing. And that's the problem, too. Stop faking it with these men so they go to the next woman like, I'm the man. No, you got lied to.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. Too much ego in the situation because you can't really be honest. Like, what you gonna do if you really like somebody, right? Like let's say you are emotionally connected, but baby, it's just not there. The stroke ain't stroking. And he think he killing it. He think he killing it. What you got in that moment? It's just gonna mess up the whole moment and be like,
I'm gonna briefly pause this show, and I am gonna rebuke what Looney just asked me, because Father God, we ain't been through this, and I pray I don't never go through this. Okay,
girl,
you know who I am, and you know what I want, and I'm just gonna rebuke what Looney just said, because, baby, I'm going to show you the exit. Get off me.
What do y'all say when a guy ain't doing it and he hollering about, say my name, say it? Do you say it?
I've never dealt with that.
Listen, I have. And to be honest, I literally.
What you do, Looney?
I don't want to hurt his little heart, I don't want to hurt his little heart. That's why I say we don't be honest. We don't be keeping it real. You know, and I be like, okay, you know. And then I tell
that man done left feeling like Superman, and he the damn Joker.
That's why all these men think that they stroke game is crazy, because we do not keep it real. Not everybody keeps it real.
Oh my God!
I better start keeping it real with these men, and men start keeping it real with these women, because the same thing is vice versa.
Hallelujah.
From what I heard.
And listen, I'm going to say something, and you know, like me and TheeEnicole said, people may be offended, but we don't care. We real over here. There are a lot of women, even in my age group and 40s and stuff, don't know how to keep a clean cooch. Now, I don't understand what that's about. Okay, odor in the cooch. Okay, now that's what you.
Oh my! Oh my! It have quickly went left.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
Well, they should have quickly left.
Okay, listen, it's too much stuff now. It is way too much stuff for your cooch to be on fire or lit. I'm sorry. It is.
You smell yourself before anybody else smell you. That is an abomination.
Period. You will smell. I don't know if it's the same for men. I would assume so, but baby, you gonna smell that thing before anybody else do. So if you just sit here ignoring that odor, something is wrong. Something is wrong.
That goes into health though. Like they probably smelling like that because they keep inviting people into their homes.
Yeah.
pH level.
That's true.
All the way.
Sometimes it's the diet, what they eat, what they drink, throws their chemical, structure off. I mean, there's a lot of things with women. It's hard being a woman. I give you guys all the credit in the world. It's hard, being a woman. So the water, look at her. Drink water, right? So, but I know it's difficult. So sometimes those things happen. It's like, so what do you say? So, oh, you stink.
I think that's the same. That's the opposite version of like the man's issue with the women. Like, because you don't want to hurt the guy's feelings and let him know that his sex just ain't there. And then vice versa for men, if the lady is a little lit down there, you don't want to hurt her feelings and be like, baby, you lit. So she walking around here with litness and don't know that she lit. And men walking around here thinking they got King Diggling and it's not even Donkey Kong. So I feel like it's the same thing.
Vice versa. Y'all feelings and tell these people the truth. I don't know how to bite my tongue. I don't know how to do it.
You just real. You just real. You just gonna let somebody know, like, look.
Listen, get away from me.
Hurt feelings and all, baby. I don't care.
Because what? No way. Ain't no way.
I feel like there's ways to do it though. There's levels, right? Like, especially if you actually like somebody and they're just not doing it for you. Like, I have literally, I've had to sit somebody down and be like, hey, I like this. Could we try this, or could you maybe do this? I feel like it's all about, again, learning each other, getting to know each other, being able to feel like it's safe enough for you to communicate with them what you actually want. Even when it comes to those types of conversations, how do you like it, and how do you like this or that in the bed? Do you like this? Do you like that? Do you like to be what do you like? So that you can give that person those things so that it can be pleasurable for both people involved.
If you haven't learned yourself enough to keep your ass clean, I hope that he's not still trying to learn you. That is grounds for dismissal.
I'm about to say, because if that's the case, maybe, baby, you just got a condition. You need to go to the doctor. Okay?
Yeah.
You need to go get that thing checked out.
No way.
That part. Louis, do you have children?
I do. I have a son.
Oh, you have a son. Okay. How old is he?
He will be 12 in July.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my youngest daughter will be 13 next week.
Okay.
Yeah. But the other one,
they 9-year-old.
You got 9-year-old, yeah, TheeEnicole. But my other ones would be 32, 31, 26. So they all grown.
So you ain't got kids, you got adults.
I got adults, yeah. Well, they still kids. That's the crazy thing. Dad, can you cash at me some money? Dad, You know, when your grown kids text you, "Hey, how you doing?" Oh, okay, this time they're gonna beg for something.
You know what
It's
time
coming. It's coming.
So just imagine having these grown kids asking you to cash app, and then the woman you date, you got to cash app her for some soap.
Not for the soap.
That's a no-go right there.
Not for the soap, no.
Ain't no way.
Like, that's not how this is supposed to work. It's just not how this.
Golly, Nicole's a mess.
Well, Looney, we were so glad to have you. We got to do this again.
Yes, definitely, for sure. I'm down.
I want to ask Looney because, you know, me and her have been chatting and, you know, very personable. You know, you would think that a woman that looked like her would be like, boy, if you don't get out of my inbox, you know, so, but very personable, just a lovely, lovely person, beautiful person. You know what I mean? And I wanted to ask you with this thing in Florida, before we go, what are your thoughts about living in Florida? Because right now, Ron DeSantis is acting a damn fool, okay? He's driving people out of Florida, particularly people of color. And so what are your thoughts on that, living there? Do you see yourself staying there in the future or what?
That's such a good question because I actually have definitely considered leaving. I actually just ended up getting transferred to the Fort Lauderdale base though. So I'm definitely going to be there more, but I'm just like looking at everything that's happening and how people in Florida are allowing it to happen, you know, almost makes me feel like that's not the place I need to be because there are so many people supporting him that you would think he wouldn't have gotten reelected. He did. And then all of these people who are, you know, in agreement with a lot of the things that he's trying to do. And I'm just shocked because I'm like, how is this? Like, there are so many undercover people who will smile in your face and then go vote, you know, go vote for his policies.
That's right.
Him. So Florida, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but I don't like it. And if it continues, like, yeah, I might have to get on up out of there. Like the NAACP done put out that, you know, advisory for people to stay away, and you know the things that they're doing with the immigrants, and it's hurting the farmers, and you know it's just so much that he's doing in Florida, and it's like for him to now be trying to run for president and take those policies from Florida to the whole world, like baby, we got some trouble on our hands. We got some trouble on our hands. So I might be out of Florida very soon, actually.
And you know, you said you wonder why these people are really supporting him, because hatred, racism, bigotry, that stuff go deep. It's deep rooted, very deep rooted, right? And white women got Trump into office.
Yeah.
And Trump talked about women disgustingly in disgusting ways. Okay, while he was running.
Yes.
And they still voted him in.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they were voting to protect their lifestyle. They don't care how they treat it.
Yeah.
Just make sure I stay in the big house, in the best neighborhood. I get to still do tea parties and cupcakes, all that. Okay, because that's how they're conditioned. So they don't care if their men fly all over the whole world and screw half the nation or half the globe, long as they get to live good and stay in the big house. You know, so when you look at DeSantis, some of the same stuff is going on, and people you thought, oh, they cool people, they white, but they cool people. They showing you who they really are.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's a matter of not wanting to see anyone else, you know, even remotely get to your level, because they know very well that it's for us, it's easy to surpass them if we're equal. You know, if we have an equal starting point, it's very easy for us to surpass them. So they need to be, and they need to have a lead. They need to have to be ahead in order to keep us behind. So I think that's also a major threat, especially when it comes to the immigrants coming in to Florida, and you know they're claiming they're taking jobs away, which is absolutely ridiculous because y'all don't want them jobs.
They don't want them jobs. They don't want them.
They're willing to do the things that you don't want to do. And now you're going to see it, because even with the farmers coming out and speaking against it, and how now they're, all of the immigrants have gone, their undocumented workers are gone. They've been trying to hire American workers to do the manual labor, but they quit after 2 weeks because they can't handle it. It's too hot. They're, too many entitled Americans. They don't want to do that. So they're not taking no jobs that you actually want to do. These are people who are coming in, who are willing to work hard and do the things that you don't want to do, so that they can take care of themselves and make a living for themselves and for their families. So it's very interesting to see what he's doing in Florida. And I may not, like I said, I may not be there very long.
We're going to continue to follow it, keep it monitored.
Yeah.
Of course, we're very concerned about you. You can always come here anytime, talk or contact us individually, whatever. You're a family member now. Me and TheeEnicole, very open. And of course, we're going to be across the street in a minute, right? TheeEnicole really showing out. We're going to cross the street in a minute, Looney.
Before we get into that, I want to say that is one reason why over here on this channel, I always push us supporting each other, us helping each other, collaborating with each other, because the shit is going to hit the fan. And we can't even get along with each other enough to protect each other. Because guess what? They ain't going to protect each other.
Period.
They have been preparing for shit to hit the fan for a very long time. And we're going to be out here scrambling around, not knowing what to do, because we can't get along with each other because you stepped on my foot in 1992.
Yeah.
Like, we got to get it together, Black people, for real.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah, but Looney, my beloved, come back anytime. Love to have you. We talk real on this show, and it was a pleasure having you tonight. And I really appreciate you for coming on and being open with us.
Thank you guys for having me. I would definitely love to come back again, chat it up with y'all.
Yes, and her link is in the description, guys. So follow her, but don't be a creep, because
no, don't be a creep. Don't be a creep. No.
So we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. You guys enjoy your week. Let it be productive. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.